Good morning and happy Monday, you guys.
Welcome back to Espresso with Erin and Sarit. What was I about to say? Welcome back to Espresso with Erin and Sarit. We are your hosts. I am Erin.
And I'm Sarit.
And together we are on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. That was really fucking weird. We did not plan that. Oh my gosh. Woo! Telepathic brain waves. That was incredible.
Yeah, we're
I almost don't even think that they're going to believe that wasn't rehearsed. But you know what? That's A-okay.
Yeah.
We have an amazing episode for you today. And I hope you grabbed your morning beverage of choice, unless you're in a different part of the world. Perhaps it's evening.
Quick morning recap. So this past weekend, we were together with our entire crew at the 10X Growth Conference. It was absolutely incredible. Lots and lots and lots of takeaways. And I'm sure that all of them are going to be leaked out to you guys.
Sprinkled, if you will.
Yeah, in this episode and in further episodes. But just like, you know, the beauty... The most beautiful thing is that, you know, like any successful person has their own unique story, but they all basically say the same exact thing from their own life experience, which is incredible. So,
I love you guys tagging people, getting them in here. Tag people, get them in here. Tag people, get them in here. This is going to be an amazing show. Good morning, Heidi, Veronica, Susanna, Kristen, Veronica, Fran, Daniela, Stacy, your community engagement unicorn, Stacy Cupchelli is in Cupchelli is in the house. Who else is here? Tracy's here. We got Lori and Olivia and L-Dub and Jenna. Good morning, Teresa and Hillary and Shauna and Leanne and Valerie and Mel O'Connor. Good morning to everybody. Yes, today's episode is titled Keep Trying.
Yeah. Also, we all lost an hour of sleep this weekend.
Or did we just time travel?
Perhaps both.
It's how you spin it. I don't like to think.
I love today's episode because I can relay a story from today's workout and into the episode. Good morning, Jess O'Hara. By the way, if you are new to this community or this is your first time on the show, please drop a comment and tell us where you're from, where you representing. But
if this is your first time on the show, tell us where you're from and where you want to go. My name's Erin. This is Sarit. And it is a pleasure to meet you in this house. I can't freestyle rap, but that's okay. Even if it sounds like crap, I'm going to do it anyways because that's what I do. Welcome to the show. It's me and you. Holla.
You and Jesse Itzler should have a rap band.
Dude, he would crush me. His freestyle was, I don't even get it. DJ E Money in the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about failure. So yesterday, one of the speakers yesterday was A-Rod, the A-Rod.
Oh yeah.
And he was telling Grant that he was the fourth MLB player to have the...
Oh, no, fifth. There's only five.
Five?
Mm-hmm.
Fifth?
No, he's the fifth highest
Strikeout.
in strikeouts. Seen as one of the greatest baseball players
Yeah.
is the 5th highest in the history ever of Major League Baseball to have the most strikeouts.
So what does that say?
But he's one of the greatest players. But he's the 5th highest in strikeouts.
So the lesson behind this, and man, I appreciate it so much. You know, the lesson behind this is that the more you fail, the more you learn.
Maybe.
Under one condition. If you have the right attitude. The more you fail, the more opportunities you have to learn. Because you guys, we learn from failure. We learn from our mistakes. You know, like when we do something and it works, it's like, okay, keep doing it.
Repeat.
When we do something and it doesn't work, then now we have a lesson to learn.
Don't repeat.
Right? And
Modify.
we have to extract the lesson. But the reason why, you know, success in anything, be it, you know, weight loss, be it, you know, anything in life, the reason why few people find like whole and complete level of success in their life is because people give up too soon. They give up too soon. So, you know, whenever shit goes sideways, it's easy to just like slip. But you have to be great at getting back up. Like the sooner you get back up, the more times you get back up, the more lessons you're going to learn. And over time, what this is going to do is that it's going to start building that compound effect that you need. Like, for example,
What did he say, though? He said, I have a PhD in failing, but I have a master's in getting back up.
yes. Yeah.
Which, to me, says, I have failed more times. I have failed the most. My highest, most recognized and treasured degree is in failing. And the next one down is getting back up. The next highest is getting back up. You can't get back up if you didn't fail. You can't learn. You can become aware of a potential failure through somebody else's failure, but you cannot fully, truly learn unless you failed. So the goal, you know, and you know, really smart people will do their best to learn as much as they can from other people's failures. You know, but the most impactful way for us to learn is to fail ourselves. You burn your hand on a stove, better not touch that shit again. You got red fingers. You got to put them on ice. Didn't feel good. You watch somebody else burn their hand, you're not as affected because you're like, oh, that sucks. And then you forget about it. So,
in fact, that's just how the brain works. Like, if you think about it, when we're babies, that's how we learn how to walk.
fall down.
We fall down.
I got shit,
and then
that
we
didn't
get
work.
back up. So, you know, the
They
real...
do that bounce. Let's a moment of silence for Boogie's national anthem. And the home of the brave. True.
All right. He didn't want to come up here today. He said, I'm going to keep playing
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna
my
stay
couch.
downstairs and then I'm gonna cry halfway through the show.
So, you know, the real question then becomes, why do we give up and why do we not embrace our failures? Because, hold on.
Why do we give up?
Why do we not embrace our failures?
Why do we not embrace our failures?
Today in our strength segment,
Why do we not embrace our failures? Do we not embrace our failures? Some people embrace their failures.
Some people do. The successful ones do. I mean, like generally in society. So this morning, let's go back to our workout. The strength segment.
Can I say too? I think it's a natural temptation to not embrace your fails because you failed and it doesn't feel good. Your natural reaction is to be frustrated, upset, sad, mad, angry, rude, right?
The ego is hurt. It feels like shit.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, it doesn't feel good. But, so that's the natural temptation. Now, it's, you have to train yourself. First by becoming aware. You have to train yourself to think the other way. You have a moment of frustration. We're going to explain an example right now, but you have a moment of frustration. Fine, take it, right? You're feeling. Feelings are for feeling. Shit.
Feelings are for feeling. That's brilliant.
Right? To feel, you gotta feel. So, you can have your second of shit. But then, okay, now back to reality. And then you say, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? So, example, yes. Proceed.
So this morning when we were working out, first we had our strength segment, and it was 5 sets of 3 hang power snatches leading up to a heavy 3. So on your last set, which was heavy, you failed on
my last rep,
on your 3rd rep. Mm-hmm. And what do you remember what you said?
Poop.
Yeah, first you said poop.
Poop. And then I kicked the trash can. A little light tap, not like I kicked it across the gym.
No, you weren't upset. And then you said if you don't fail, you don't get better.
No, I said if you don't fail, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
You fail by pushing yourself. You fail,
yep.
And it takes courage.
Yep.
The weight I had on the bar, and also this is a completely whole nother topic that we can have for those I would say ex-athletes, but I feel once an athlete, always an athlete, always an athlete. You're just competing at different things. But, when it was a weight for me that several years ago would not have been a challenge. So that's difficult already. But life is, there's, things happen, priorities change. And so for one, that could be a whole other topic of the athletes in the house who've been, at their high or extreme or whatever, maybe got injured and then unable to actually do, I used to be able to do this. I used to be able, we get stuck in this, I used to be land. So for one, I'm in this place, right? And that can be, we can completely go another way with that. And I think that's actually a fantastic topic. Are you writing it down? Used to be land. And, when you know what you used to be capable of, it's difficult to accept if you're not capable of that. Mm-hmm. And I had back surgery. There was an entire year before my back surgery almost that I could barely do anything without being in pain.
So it was 3 years that you haven't really lifted that heavy.
I've done that movement too, here
right.
and there, but never consistently because it's a very aggressive movement and I have a special back. It's the most special. And I'm going to say it's even better than it was. But, so I was coming from that place. So then, I had to get outside of that space to be I got this. It was already took courage for me to try it because I knew it was going to be heavy and I knew this should be easy for me. No. What should be is what is. Everything happens on purpose. What should be is. We might not always know why. But there's peace in that.
So the first thing that you said was poop.
Poop.
And then you said
A little stomp of the foot.
and then you said if you don't fail, you don't grow.
You're not trying hard enough.
You're not trying hard enough. And then I said amen. And
That's how I got myself out of it.
right.
That's how I snapped out of it.
Like instantly, like your emotion wasn't down or anything. It was just like, okay, like just handling the situation. But, you know, I want to talk about two different aspects because of this thing called fear of failure. For one, how many people don't actually like reach to their higher potential because they haven't been to that new place before and they're scared of failing? You're gonna fail before you get to the place. Always. Like, failure is a part of reaching a new ceiling. So let's say, you know, whether it's with your lifts or with your body composition or with your weight loss, it doesn't matter. But let's say, you know, like for example, back squats. Let's say your current heaviest back squat is 185. You gotta try 190 in order to be able to lift more than 185. Right? Let's say if your goal is to get to 200, like it's time to start breaking through the ceiling. Like the only way to grow is to break through the ceiling. Now, whether you'll be able to accomplish it in the very first instant or not, I mean, there's so many components that go into it. But if you have the courage to fail, then you're definitely going to achieve it. Why? Because let's say, okay, you put up on the bar 190. The first time you do it, you're like, shit, you fail. What happens in your muscles is that, you know, there's these things called the motor units, right, that learn to contract differently with a heavier load. So what happens then is that now your central nervous system is training to be activated to be able to handle a new load. Right? Like whatever you guys see like professional athletes do, let's say if their current heaviest lift was 300 and they put up 350 and they actually are capable of doing it, that is because of years of physical training and also mental training that goes along it. Like to be able to believe that you can do something that's way dramatically different and in an instant from anything that you've done before is scary. And most of the times, physically, you're not going to be able to sustain it. Very rarely does it happen. But what's guaranteed is that if you have the courage to continuously break through that ceiling, right, you're going to be able to actually break it. It reminds me of the show, what is it? The Rock's show, the Titan Games. You know how there is this one part where it's like they have these things that they have to break through that wall with a heavy ass thing? I don't know if you guys ever watched the show The Titan Games.
Break through a wall?
There's this massive heavy pendulum that they have to swing in order to like prop open that door.
No, I don't know. Anyways, regardless, what's the message?
The message is that let's say if you want to open a door, okay, and it's fully shut, and you beat it with a sledgehammer like one time. Like if you're like ridiculously strong and the force that you apply is incredible, along with like you hit it on the exact spot that you should have, then it's going to break. But the chances of you breaking that door in an instant is very slim. However, if you have the persistence and the courage to keep on showing up and you're like, okay, I'm not going to stop, I'm going to keep on, just beating that sledgehammer to the door, eventually the door is going to fall over and you're going to be able to enter that new room. Right? So failure will allow you to break from your current ceiling into your higher ceiling in order to reach a higher potential. Okay, you want more progress? Be okay with tolerating failures. It is what it is.
There's two questions I have.
Okay.
When facing a fear.
Okay.
And this can be in anything. This can be in a hard conversation that you have to have with somebody. You know, you're scared of what? Like anytime you have fear, and most fear is made up. Now, if there's a lion chasing you, that's a legitimate fear, right? What courage are you going to have to either run or fight? That's it, right? But there's no choice. Like
that's a reflex.
You're going to die, right?
Yeah,
that happens by instinct.
Yeah.
Right? But when you don't sense an immediate danger, and this is important, when it's not a matter of life and death, it's the most dangerous. Because the decisions made consistently over time are what bring you to better life or a faster death. And I don't even mean just like death, you're dead, your heart's not beating anymore, they put you in the ground, game over. I mean, maybe you're even still alive, but you're not living. That's still, in my idea, death. Like, what, you know. But these are the two questions to ask yourself. In any situation, you feel fear. Normally, when you feel fear, you need to run and lean into it. You need to go towards it. Again, it goes back to the analogy of fighting. If I'm going to punch you, you can't be at this arm's distance. Your face cannot be this far away from my body, or you're going to get punched in the mouth. You got to lean into me so that I can't get you, or you run away scared and you never get what you want. Those are the two options. So anytime you're scared, anytime you feel fear, it's not a matter of life and death, adrenaline, knee-jerk reaction. You need to train yourself so that your knee-jerk reaction and fear is to run to it. Run into it. And commit. We're doing ENS Live. There's going to be an amazing thing that we're going to be doing there, where it requires like commitment, right? Everybody who's attending live is like, what the fuck did I sign up for? Don't worry. Everybody's going to be okay.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. You're going to break past your comfort zone.
But there's two questions. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen? I need to have this hard conversation with somebody and I'm scared. What's the worst that's going to happen? Is anybody going to die? 99 times out of 100, no. Probably out of more than 100. Or, what am I trying to say? Like, sometimes it is life-threatening, but we're talking about non-life-threatening scenarios. Okay? What is the worst that can happen? Somebody doesn't like what you said. Okay, but did you die? It was physically painful, like in a workout. It's really hard. Sweating, got sweat in your eye. What's the worst that can happen? If you need to make a phone call, but you're not sure what the conversation is about, what's the worst that will happen? What is the worst thing that could happen? You sign up for a new program, what's the worst thing that could happen? It's not going to be that bad, but we make this huge thing of it. Then you ask yourself, second question, what's the best thing that could happen? We always think about the worst thing. And it's good to be prepared, but you don't need to sit in that thought. The longer you sit in what is the worst that could happen, the more you attract the worst happening. What is the best that could happen? Roll through those scenarios and then commit to that. Put your energy into that. And even if it doesn't happen exactly the best way it could happen, I bet you it will happen better than the worst thing that could happen. And always, we're talking about non-life-threatening scenarios. You're not going to die. So these fears that we have is like, it's always pushing past a break point. You're wanting to accomplish a breakthrough. To break through, what's the definition of break?
To break through, you gotta break through.
B-R-E-A-K, not breakfast. Why are you auto-correcting for me? This is not the game I want to play. To break. Separate or cause to separate into pieces as a result of a blow, shock, or strain. As a result of, you want to break through? A blow, a shock, or a strain. Do any of those sound comfortable?
Yeah, no.
So, the only way you break through to get what you want is not comfortable. What's the best that could happen? And then commit to that. Mm-hmm. And then what? What afterwards? Okay, what's the worst that could happen? I rolled my ankle. First world problem. Somebody yelled at me. First world problem. I pulled a butt cheek muscle. First world problem.
I was told no.
I lost a friend. Oof. Still a first world problem. So then what happens in that case? We learn. We try again. Get back up. Okay, what's the best thing that could happen? And then, I lost 20 pounds. I feel greater than I've ever felt in my life. I was proud to turn 50. I increased my income by whatever percent. What's the best thing that could happen? And then what? What's the worst? What's the best? And then what?
What you focus on expands. I want to add 2 more things. I want to talk about how many times do people actually not show up because their expectation is skewed. Like, for example, let's say it's somebody who used to be an ex-athlete, and there were, let's take you for example. Okay, you had a back injury. You were able to snatch before shit started going sideways. I think your PR was like 150, something ridiculous. But I mean, today you failed at 95. Okay, that's like 65% of what she was able to do. How many people after they've had an injury do you guys know who like were either in great shape, even like athletes, to some degree, be it like high school, college, or even pro, like beyond. After they had an injury, they didn't show up because their training now had to evolve. It was no longer, you couldn't push how you were able to push before. And it was demotivating, right, to not be able to push as hard as you pushed before. So you're like, okay, well, it's not remotely close to what it used to be, so why the heck even show up for it? Mm-hmm. Like, how many times do you see people in life who just freeze because their expectation of what is versus what was is skewed? You guys, like, to achieve success in anything, you gotta have progress. And in order for you to progress means that you gotta have momentum. It's a game of momentum. So like Erin, for example, maybe she'll never be able to snatch 145 again in her life, or 150. Maybe she will. But one thing is going to guarantee that. Whether she's consistent at doing that movement and doing everything around that, doing that movement is just a byproduct of doing everything around that in order to allow her to do that movement. You know, and I think that's really important too, to touch upon being consistent with everything that revolves around one action. You know, so many people just focus on one piece of the pie. How about you focus on the entire pie in order to prepare you to achieve that one piece of the pie? You know what I mean? Like, you know, let's take, for example, another movement. You want to increase your bench press. Don't just bench press, also make sure that you've got like shoulder stabilizing exercises, shoulder mobility exercises in order to set you up for success so that you can build your way up through that. Like you also have to focus about what are the skills or the practices that I need to do around that thing in order to allow me to do that. So whatever it is that you want to achieve progress in, like what do you need to do around that? Let's take meal prep, for example. So I hear so many times, oh, I'm not good at meal prep. Most of the times because you don't show up for it. Why? Because you cooked a meal one time and it ended up being bad. How about you get comfortable with getting a grocery order? Get comfortable with finding recipes that you like. Then fail up through, you know, going from being a terrible cook to being a better cook to being freaking awesome. You don't have to be a chef to meal prep. And that goes for anything in life. Focus on all of the elements that revolve around that one thing that you want in order to be better. So that's with regards to, you know, the importance of showing up for yourself so that you can fail your way up. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is committing to failing all the way. And I want to use the metaphor of that sledgehammer again. How many times, whether it's at the gym or at anything in life, do you see people who halfway try instead of try all the way? So let's go back to that door and that sledgehammer. Unless you are putting a specific amount of force, using the sledgehammer by hitting it at a specific angle in a certain spot, the likelihood of you beating the door down within one shot is very slim to none. Now, I think another reason why so many people end up not even breaking that door down is because after their first try, they're like, okay, didn't crack the door. Now you start doubting yourself because it didn't happen the first time. Because the only thing that you can, in reality, unless you practice envisioning and you wholeheartedly believe that you can do that, and you also have enough skill, and you gotta have a high belief level, you also have to have a certain amount of skill in order to accomplish something. You could try to beat that door 1,000 times, but if you halfway try, you're like, okay, I'm gonna try.
Commit.
Okay, I'm gonna try. But you can try all day long, but if you don't commit to beating it all the way as if this is your first and last time, and, you know, committing to it wholeheartedly in that single instance, then there will be a catastrophe or some kind of consequence that you'd rather not face. Most likely, what most people will do is just halfway try, and then give up. And the reason why this happened is because when we go to school, education is really important. But the school system versus education, there's a huge difference with regards to that. In the school system, we're taught that if you're not the best, then you're doomed. But in the game of life, it doesn't work that way. If you're the most committed and the hardest fucking worker, you're gonna break through any ceiling better than any other person, regardless of how talented they are, regardless of how smart they are, regardless of where they're at in life. Who cares if they have a head start? It is your duty and obligation to commit to that door with every single with every single swing in order to get you through that door. But because we compare ourselves to other people and to our past experiences, we have a tendency to believe as if the next experience is going to be the same as before. Well, guess what?
Which it will be if you do the same thing.
And your thoughts become things. So if you believe that will be the case, guess what? When you go for that sledgehammer and you give it another swing, you're not going to fully commit to it. You're going to halfway try. So yes, of course, you're going to get the same exact result because you haven't changed anything. Most of the time, in order to change the outcome of whatever it is that you're achieving, you have to change your thought, which is the hardest
all of the time,
thing.
not most of the time.
Right, all of the time. You're right,
100%.
all of the time. Because before you take any action, you have to make a decision. And a decision starts with a thought. So if you don't change this, and it happens, thoughts happen very quickly. Now, the hardest thing with thought is that most people are not even aware of their thoughts. So they just vomit their way through life. And then they wonder why shit's not working for them. Well, because you're unaware. So you're letting your past experiences dictate your future. Because you're acting by default. You're not controlling the situation. You're letting the situation control you. So then you tell yourself, well, this door is not meant to be broken. But I'm like, dude, I told you. You can break through that door. And once you break through that door, there's going to be a room full of gold.
I love gold!
Yeah. So you have to commit wholeheartedly to break through that door in order to get there.
And it feels, the victory is so sweet.
Yeah.
How come you're sitting so far back?
I don't know.
The most common fear is of failure. The number one most common reason why people don't take action is because they fear failure. And, the people typically that you follow on social media, talk about social media for a second, this is just one avenue, is either the people you truly know, like the people who your family, your friends, your loved ones, people you met, whatever, right? People that you know, and then people you really admire. People that you really look up to, people that you maybe aspire to be like or aspire to achieve something they've achieved in your own way. And so what happens is then we compare and, we're put on a pedestal. Like, oh, so successful. But again, let's go back to this. The most successful people, those people that you look up to, that you can call your mentors, that you aspire to be like, they have a PhD in failure. That's how they got there. But that is not what you see. And all the time, that's why we try to show you our weaknesses. We try to show you our vulnerabilities. We try to show you where we struggle, where we fall short, because that is how we learn. And it's okay for you to be the same way. You have to be good at failing. And I don't mean good at failing like just keep failing all the time and in the same ways, but to learn from each and every attempt, the most successful people that you can call your mentors or you want to, achieve greatness, like they're so good at learning, not just failing, being okay with failing, but then also being mindful and aware of the failure and what they did wrong, seeking out what went sideways. So I can eliminate that piece and try again. I still failed. At least I did it differently. Take out that piece or add that piece. Try again. I still failed. Or it still could have been better. Or it still could have improved. Okay, it's an analysis, a self-analysis, and an awareness. There's a few things that you guys said that I thought were amazing. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can't see the live and the comments coming through the feed. So I want to add this value to you guys as well. But Valerie, you said comfort is the greatest threat to success.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's not even comfortable. Think about it.
Because it's comfortable in the moment, but it sucks in the grand scheme of life.
It's not comfortable. It's the easy thing. It's the easy choice in the moment. Because you don't have to face a fear. But it's not a comfortable situation. If you're 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, you go to the store, you hate buying clothes because you feel like you just feel bad about yourself every time you try stuff on. I've been in this position. You have to try on 13 things to decide which one covers your fat the best. I've been in that position. And then you leave with nothing anyways because you're just not satisfied. You just leave with now like more self-hatred and a waste of time. I've been in that position. That's not comfortable. So you think that the choice to eat pizza on Friday night and drink beer is easier in the moment than choosing a salad. Why? Because somebody might make fun of you. Why are you eating a salad? Why are you eating a salad?
Why trying to lose weight? You've been trying to lose weight for 10 years.
That's the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
It's not a fear of failure. That's a fear of rejection. But, these are like, but you don't, the position that you're in general isn't comfortable. I'm not saying that eating pizza and drinking a beer on a Friday night is a bad thing. I'm talking in the context of these decisions made continuously over a long period of time.
Yeah. Most people make that decision by default, not through intention.
Unintentionally, right. Stacy, Fear is a Reaction, Courage, Decision by Winston Churchill. Fear is a reaction. You can't help it. You're just afraid. That's okay. Feelings are made to be felt. Courage is a decision. Junalyn, the mentality of, if I won't die, I'm going to go for it. if it's not going to cause a harm of death, I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I have a fear of jumping off a bridge. Why? Because I don't want to die. Unless it's of natural causes. And I'm okay with it. But, right, so there's a difference. We're talking non-life or death scenarios here. Olivia, underdog mentality. I wonder if she was listening. I think it was Pitbull. Is it Pitbull or Tyrese? I don't remember. Tyrese skips in. I think it was Pitbull. He's like, I'm always see myself as an underdog. I'm always an underdog. I approach a situation as if I'm an underdog. Why? Because you have nothing to lose. You're an underdog, you got nothing to lose. You show up, you're like, if I shit the bed, I'm already losing. But at least I tried. At least I showed up. At least I made an effort. At least I did something different. Those are the four I can't see everybody's stuff, especially because Daisy is attending the room every few seconds. So it's hard to scroll through the comments. But thank you guys for that. I love seeing, I'll say hearing from you. I hear it in my head as I read it. But reading these things from you guys, because I learn. I get reminded of things. I have thoughts that are spurred on by you guys and your comments and your interaction and your engagement. And this is what this is for. We don't want to just talk at you. So thank you guys for adding all of that 2 cents in there.
I want to add a couple more things. So this past weekend,
when you add a couple more things, I just want to know, this is a completely side note. Can you post in the comments, did you watch GrowthCon on a live stream? Post in the comments GC5, GrowthCon 5, GC5 if you watched the live stream. And I don't mean if you watched like 30 seconds of the live stream, but if like you attended and you were like paying attention and you watched.
For the
GC5.
entire three days.
GC5.
So you know, like I want to share with them, you know, something that happened this weekend. So if you watched it or you saw Stacy's video, we got an amazing opportunity we got asked to speak on Grand Stage over the weekend, which has been something that we've been manifesting for literally almost an entire year. And you know, after we got off, like so many people, like, you know, were approaching us and they're like, you guys are amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then they started asking questions. And my reasoning for sharing this with you guys is to just, you know, like take you through our journey, not to toot my horn. Though, yes, it was fucking rad, the most rad thing that I've done yet, to speak in front of 17,000 people when back in October, when we spoke in front of 10,000, we shot the bed. It's like we keep on breaking through ceilings. Now it's like, okay, like in June, we're going to be speaking live in front of 300 people. We already got asked. It's going to seem like nothing because now we're like, okay, like 17,000. I'm like, now show me a fucking stadium. I want to look at that. But again, it's like it's figuring out ways to break through ceilings. But you know, one question that we got asked very often, because we're talking about our growth, is, you know, what was the biggest thing that you guys did? And
yeah, what was the biggest
thing? Here's the thing.
There's no big thing.
The biggest change happens every single day when you learn to break past your failures and keep going.
The biggest thing is the small things.
And that's what people don't realize. They keep on looking for that like golden, like incredible thing. No, dude, it's mundane and it fucking sucks each and every day. And if you are willing to put yourself in that situation and miss the hits and get rejected and whatever, then over a couple of years, like your life is going to look incredibly different.
Does it suck every day? Does it really suck every day?
No, it doesn't. Look, we love what we do, but I'm talking about rejection. You know, when somebody's like, I want to join your program, and then like they're just being a little bitch and they quit. Like, and they say, no, I'm not going to join it. Why? Because they're scared. You know, like it sucks because we know we have the solution for you.
It hurts.
So,
it hurt. I mean, yeah, it hurts because it's like, man, we know so bad that we can help you, and we don't. It's not that we take it personally, like, oh, you don't want to do our program because we're not cool or we're not good. You don't believe in us. Most of the time, it's because you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
You have a fear of failure.
Right.
And that's what's painful. And you know, we make a lot of mistakes technically on the computer, the websites, the
spelling,
program delivery. I've misspelled shit in emails. Okay, great, get over it. You like, you know, it all the time, and it's like just every day is like this little increments of improvement.
Yeah.
People are like, "What's the one thing you did that like it's a magic pill?"
No, it's just a grinding every goddamn day, like just embracing the mundane.
It's really the biggest thing is doing the things you don't want to do that you know you need to do on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. Norma, you said something great. It sucks when I don't feel productive. Like
speaking to my soul.
Last Wednesday, we literally had that day, because when you have to hit certain targets and when you treat life with a sense of urgency, and it doesn't matter like how hard you've been putting in the work, and like, you know, you still didn't break through it, you don't feel productive. Okay. So like, for example, let's say, you were told that, you know, if you were to squat that 185 like 10 times, by the 11th time you should be able to squat the 190. but wait, you didn't. So now you start getting all up in your head, and also you're feeling like you're wasting your time. And that is when most people, even the braver, the more consistent ones, can just say, all right, I'm gonna just not go for the 11th rep because it's just not meant for me. Or today's not my day. Today is not my day is literally the worst thing that you can tell yourself. It's like,
it's just because you just made it not your day.
Right. This is why, like, I ask so many of you guys who I work with, tell me one win you had today. Make sure that every day you end your day with a win. Just because you didn't ideally get to where you wanted to, if you ended your day with a win and you gave it your all, let's say, you went for that 11th rep and then you tried going for that 190 and it didn't happen, that doesn't mean that it's not for you. So many of you guys who like in the past, or there's a few of you guys who currently are going through the 8-week raw transformation that is ending after this week, you're like, I should have been at this point by now, but I'm not. So then what happens? You give up. Because you should have been. Because you see others getting it, but you are not. Like so many people, like this is a really good point, Norma, and thank you for bringing it up. We want to feel productive. It gives us like this drip of dopamine, which yes, it's amazing. However, sometimes you're not going to get it even after you've tried for a long ass time. Mm-hmm. But one thing is guaranteed, that if you keep on trying and trying and trying and trying again, eventually you're gonna break past that ceiling.
Stacy, what's that quote that you shared with the team last week? That was a mistake made once is something, and the same mistake made again is like a choice or something like that, or a decision.
Yeah.
Can you put that in the chat? I forget what I was gonna say, so maybe it's not meant to be said. I don't know.
But going back to what I was saying, so I would tell the people, honestly, it wasn't one big thing. The one big thing happens every single day. And the reason why we are going to dominate the weight loss industry, there's no doubt about it. We're already disrupting it. We're going to dominate. Is simply because it doesn't matter. And this culture is also like in alignment for anybody who's on our team. Like together as a unit, like when we go for something and it doesn't work out, all right, cool.
A mistake.
Go for it again. Go for it again and make sure that you end your day with a win. Because that is when you can go to bed and you can feel good about yourself. It's like, all right, maybe it didn't happen. Maybe that three hang snatches at 95 didn't happen. But you know what? I give it my all. And it is still the heaviest that I was able to do for a long ass time. Okay, great. Do you think that when Erin goes up to the bar next time and tries to go for a 3 heavy set of hang snatches, she's going to do it? Maybe. But is she going to go into it with the full intention and swing all the way? Hell yeah, not halfway. That was a really good conversation.
Yeah, and the quote was, a mistake made more than once is a decision. I would say the same mistake made more than once is a decision. Just to clarify that, like you can make a mistake and then make another mistake and then make another mistake within the same realm. But if it's the same mistake, that's a decision because you know the consequence. That's the difference. When you try something without knowing the consequence, it's a mistake. I tried, I mistook what the outcome would be from taking this action. I mistook it. But if you know what the outcome is going to be because you've already taken that action, it's now a decision. Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of things out of this. For one, when I missed that last rep, I redid the 1 rep. Why? Because right. It's about finishing what you started.
Yes.
These little things all the time. These are the things that make us what we are. These are the things that allow us to continue succeeding because it's in the mind. Boom, I did one. Boom, I did two. Boom, I missed the last one. Poop, kicked the garbage can. And in my mind immediately said, I got to get this rep. Why? For me. I went back to the bar. Boom, got another rep. Mm-hmm. And for me, what that represented was the next time I pick this up, I got it. I just did the last one. I'm capable. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that scientifically, my body had a few seconds to regain some energy. Literally, it was probably like less than 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. I had my poop moment. I walked right back to the bar and I said, I got to finish this rep. So it wasn't a lot of time because I knew it would be easy for me to get if I had waited longer. I didn't want it to be easy. I wanted it to still be difficult. I walked straight back over and I said, I'm going to get this last rep. Because the next time I go and I try to do that, I'm going to do it. Because why? I know that I can. I just did 3. I finished it. Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about wins, everybody has a win at the end of the day. If you're trying, if you're not trying, if you're sitting on the couch, you're probably not watching this anyways. If you know somebody who's, feels like they're stuck on their couch, for reasons that many of us have felt, then please invite them to this page. Mm-hmm. Please share this video with them. We just got to get up.
Yes.
And a win could be just getting off the couch. I got off the couch today. I took a goddamn shower today. I'm a beast. It's all relative depending on where we're at. And sometimes it's like results that we're going for where it's like, oh, I win if I got this result. Sometimes you don't get the result that you're trying to get. But what's the win? There's still a win. I didn't get the result I was trying to get. I needed to get 3 hang power snatches at 95 pounds without setting the bar down. I did not hit the result. But the win is that I didn't throw the garbage can out the garage because I used to have anger issues and I would get really frustrated and I would just get really unrealistic and I would just throw shit and stomp on things. The win for me was I didn't do that. I had a second and a half moment. I went back over and I finished what I started. That's the win. It's not the result I was hoping for, but I made it. I turned the failure into a win. And you have the ability to do that.
I remember that how not too long ago when I had a shitty workout, I would literally let it ruin the entire day. My entire day would be ruined and I'd be such I didn't even want to be with myself. But, look, accept failure. Acknowledge, if you have a hard time accepting failure, acknowledge that you have a hard time accepting failure. But be aware enough when these failures pop by your window or right on your doorstep. Because here's the reality, is that failures are just an opportunity of growth.
You can see it as a stumbling block or a stepping stone.
Amen.
In another one too, I'm extremely good at double unders. And if you've done the burn zone 3
yes,
and 4, hopefully you're not just paying attention to what we're doing. Yes, obviously to know what you're doing, but paying attention to your workout. But it wouldn't surprise me if some of you have been like, holy shit, how does Erin do that many double unders in a row? I can do 150 plus double unders without stopping, without messing up. Today, I was shitting the bed everywhere. Mm-hmm. I messed up so many times. I missed 3 or 4 times trying to do 20. Mm-hmm. And there was a piece of me that wanted to throw the rope down or chuck it across the gym. And the win is a win. I didn't. I said, you don't get anywhere by being angry, Erin. Mm-hmm. You don't get anywhere by being angry. It is not the end of the world. You failed. Okay. It's not the end of the world. What do you need to do? Not be mad.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. You got this. Proceed. It's the thoughts. how do you speak with yourself? We're all crazy. Y'all crazy bitches up in here talking to yourselves. I know it. Because that's how we sort through things. Mm-hmm. I do it verbally. I talk to my shit verbally. Like out loud, like audible. Mm-hmm. Right? Before that last set, said, you got this, Erin. Right? That set of snatches, you got this, Erin. I don't know if you heard me, but I talk to myself. I have to talk to myself to process things. Mm-hmm. But you got to talk nice. You got to talk positive to the best of your ability. I'm not always good at it, but and nor would I expect anybody to be just fantastic at it, because we all have our moments. But if you can train yourself to switch things, on the other hand, you shared with me something. You shared with me her last set. She actually failed on the same exact weight, on the same exact rep.
Yep.
Boom, 1, did it. Boom, 2, did it. Boom, 3, failed. Same weight, same rep.
Yep.
Why? You got inside your head and you said, don't fail this rep, don't fail this rep, don't fail this rep.
Yep, I was aware of my self-talk.
Don't fail this. You're literally saying, fail this rep.
Uh-huh.
You don't hear the don't. You're hearing, fail this rep. What if you said, you're going to get this lift. You're going to hit this lift.
Yeah.
You're going to achieve this lift. You're going to crush this lift. What you're hearing now is achieve, crush, get it, do it. You did it. You succeeded. It's the same exact sentence flipped positive.
Those mental talks are the toughest.
But I think it's one of the most valuable assets you can have.
Yep.
The most valuable assets you can have. Better than money, better than cool shit, better than, the best relationship ever, better than anything is that ability to speak with yourself kindly and positively on a regular basis.
Because that will attract everything that you want and more. All right, we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
All right, well, we hope that you found value from today's conversation. Look, we will keep on showing up for you each and every day. Why? Because we love you guys. And honestly, we find this truly fun and fulfilling. And the reason why we find it so fulfilling, you guys, is because we're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. All that we ask is that if you found value from today's conversation, or if you found just one golden nugget, then please go ahead and share it. If you're watching this on Facebook, please go ahead and share it on your Facebook. If you're listening to this on YouTube, for one, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you're listening to this on podcast, please do us a favor and leave us a review, you guys. The reason why this is helpful is because as a community, it helps us all to rise to the top, because we live in a society right now where there is such a thing that's called algorithm. We don't care about the algorithm, but we care about the impact. And what happens, the more shares and the more likes that these videos get, the more people who really need to see it get exposed to it. And this is how we make an impact.
I care about the algorithm. You know why? Because the more people who like it, comment on it, post about it, share it, the more people subscribe to it, review it positively, only if you believe that, then the more people who see it. And guess what? Let me ask you this. Do you want to be surrounded by a bunch of negative people, naysayers, bring you downers? Or do you want to hang out with a bunch of people who are like, fuck that noise, I'm going up, and I'm going to find the people who are going the same direction as me? Mm-hmm. You invite them here, and we can hang out together. Simple.
Yeah. And it also allows us to get more badass speakers on our show.
Yeah. And yes, Stacy is commenting in the post. This episode's going to be posted. She put our YouTube channel. If you scroll up in the comments, she also dropped the link to where you can ask your questions for tomorrow's episode. And so if you have questions, go there, click the link. You just enter your name, where you're from, what your question is, and we'll be happy to answer those tomorrow. Let's drop that link all day, Stacy. I want people asking all the questions.
Yeah.
Because we show up for you guys. Don't ask your question, we won't answer it. unless somebody else asks it.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that being said, we hope that you have a beautiful day ahead and a fabulous week. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Take care, you guys.
See
and
ya.
Have a great day.